Hello, everyone, and welcome to this exciting episode of your ICAN Starter Pack. My name is Chidima Osigwe, AAT ACA. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for commenting. Thank you also for sending in your emails and sending your questions. And I believe that this episode is also going to set you on a pace for success. On today's episode, I have Mr. Oni. Mr. Oni, introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. My name is Olatilewa Oni, AAT ACA. Thank you very much. Nice to be on the platform
Thank
to
you,
tell my
sir.
story.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, how did your ICANN journey start?
Thank you very much. Prior to my decision to write ICAN exam, I had an encounter with the story of Dr. Benjamin Cassim,
Okay.
the world-renowned neurosurgeon.
Mm.
Just by accident, I read his book titled Gifted Hands in 2013.
Okay.
It was an inspiring story. Actually, I read that book in 2 days because when I picked it, I read the introduction, I read it at the back. Okay. So I sat on it and I read it, and it was actually touching. And just by arrangement, about 2 weeks after I read that book, I saw the film that
Okay.
was actually acted based on that story.
The
So
movie.
the movie actually was inspiring. So I took that film and I was showing it to schools. And when I wanted to take it up scale, I wrote the Lagos State Ministry of Education to be able to present that film in their schools.
Wow.
They gave me the permission to cover 3 local governments in Lagos State that time. So
Wow.
I saw the impact of that story on the students.
Mm-hmm.
The principals were feeding me back that after watching that story, many of them started forming reading group
Wow.
that they were reading, and that actually touched me. So I had that now prompted me to read several of his books. There was a book he wrote titled "You Have a Brain." So that when that book came out too, I actually was conducting seminars on that book, and that time I now woke up to say, "Oh, just wait a minute." I left secondary school 1997, and I've not had anything academic since that time. So I made that story in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and so by 2019, that's 6 years exactly after I made that story, I it now occurred to me that I need to do something with the skills I've been seeing from reading and the impact I've been having on these children. So I decided to go after ICAN examination. So it was actually the intention was actually to test my reading skills,
Okay.
my comprehension skills, and my ability to actually impart knowledge. That was the motivation behind my decision to write ICAN, because I've read several stories about how
Wow.
tough ICAN examination is, and I wanted to actually test my knowledge. And I also know, in addition to that, I've been an entrepreneur since year 2000,
Wow.
buying, selling, and acquire some skills. I knew that the knowledge I would acquire in ICAN will help me to do better in my business. So it will help me to actually be able to manage my finance well. So I decided to become a chartered accountant. That's
Wow.
just the story. It's
Wow.
lengthy, but at
Wow.
least I was able to move from where the inspiration came to actually how the decision came.
I must confess that what drew me to you on LinkedIn was when I saw your post.
Yeah.
So I just went on LinkedIn, and the first thing I saw was this lengthy post. I'm not
Okay.
a fan of lengthy posts,
Okay.
but when I saw that, you became chartered without any university
Yes.
qualification, and I'm like, okay. And then I read it, then I went to your profile, then I realized that it took you a shorter period, right,
Yes.
to complete the process and
Yes.
become chartered. And then I was like, okay, this is a story that we really need to listen to,
Thank
right?
you very much.
And then now you're sharing with us that at the time you were um, viewing the movie Ben Carson
Yes.
at secondary schools.
Yeah.
At that time, you did not even have a university qualification.
No, not yet. I've not. At that time, I only I left secondary school in 1997. But there is this thing about me. I have passion to impact. So when I saw the story is highly impactful, I knew it would impact on the teenagers. So That was why I was motivated to take the story out then. And also, it also now helped me because it helped me to challenge myself to study further. And that was the reason why I decided to write ICAN exams.
Wow.
That was the motivation behind my decision to become a chartered accountant.
Wow. So at the time you made the decision, there was already family, there was
Yes,
already
yes,
work.
yes,
So how
yes.
did you balance that?
I just had to do it. Another thing I know I have as a gift, or maybe I call that an endowment, is that when I decide to do a thing, I don't welcome any form of excuses from me for it. I had to burn the midnight because, like I said, I had been reading books that were informing me on the skills I would need to acquire knowledge whenever I need to acquire knowledge from books. Knowledge that I had no touch with previously. Wow. I was actually learning to learn. So those skills, after I gathered them, I decided to launch it at ICAN examination, and I had to read all ICAN papers on my own.
No lecture center?
No, I didn't attend tutorial. I read on my own from ATS 1, which is now ATSWA 1, to professional. I read everything on my own. Yes.
Wow.
I sat on my own to read.
No mentor.
No mentor, no guide. If it was even someone who referred me to somebody who signed my paper, because to start your journey, a child accountant has to sign your registration form. They introduced me to someone who just said, okay, you want to write ICAN? I was 40 years old at that time. I was already 40 years old.
What were you working as? What were you doing?
I sold phone accessories, and I also learned to repair phones and laptops. I had a small shop in Computer Village that was managing that time. That was what I was doing. And I decided to write ICAN examination. So I was reading them on my own. ATS 1, September 2019 was when I wrote ATS 1. And when the result came out, I cleared all the 4 papers, and that was even actually a miracle. Because, it's like I was actually going to experiment with the skills I thought I had. And I was going to write ICAN exam. Don't forget, like I said, for 22 years since I left secondary school, I never wrote any form of examination. And ICAN seems to be faceless. You don't know the examiner. You don't know who will mark your papers. So I just went, let me just test my skills. So I read, the 4 papers that time: communication skills, business law, basic accounting, principles and systems. Then the other paper. There are 4 of them. I wrote the 4. I passed. So I was an amazement at myself. Oh, I could pass this exam. Okay, I can. Here I come. That was when I told one of my friends, okay, if I pass this, then I would write everything without attending tutorial, because I thought after writing that one, if I had challenges, I may need to seek help.
Okay.
So actually, before the result came out, I already started preparing for ATS 2. Before my result,
if you had passed.
I didn't know. I just wanted to read. I was preparing for ATS 2. I had completed reading a course before the paper came out. Okay, economics is the 4th paper in ATS 1. Com skills, business law, BAPS, and economics. So QA was what actually gave me a challenge in ATS 2, because it's numerous formula. I could imagine I could remember when I was reading it, I was like, God, how does somebody have all these formulas in his head? But I gave it a serious approach. I actually was reading for 8 hours every day that time, even though I was working. I would create time.
Wait. You said 8 hours?
Yes, I was reading 8 hours every day.
You go to your store?
I would be in the store. It's not every time customer comes in.
Noisy Computer Village environment.
I have my own this now. I'll be inside. It's only when somebody says he needs to attend, I will have to attend to the person. I would sit down and be reading. Wow. Even at times, I would read aloud and use my phone to record myself. So when I'm in traffic, I'll be playing that using my earpiece. So while the noisy environment is going on, I'm listening to the thing I read. I was informing myself.
Your own
It was a very serious.
Wow.
It wasn't that easy, but I thank God. Every time I did it, I got results. Every time I did it, I got results. So when I wrote ATS 3, I passed. It was later I saw a mail from ICAN that congratulations, you are a prize winner. Prize winner, how?
Which
I
of the
was
papers did you win first?
principles of auditing. Principles
Wow.
of auditing.
And you were not working in an audit
No,
firm?
no, 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 no. I was running my own business then. So I passed that and I won a prize. I said, okay. So after that, I went to skills level. I wrote the papers at once. My skills level, I cleared it once too. Immediately I completed the 8 years, I joined a firm to acquire practical experience as required by ICAN. So there was so much workload at work then. I broke the final stage to 2. That was the only stage I broke. Wrote the first 3 papers first, which were corporate reporting, advanced taxation, and principles. Advanced auditing. Yes, it's advanced audit and assurance. Those are the 3 papers I wrote. Then later I now wrote case study and SFM.
Wow.
And why I actually decided to split that, what I had about SFM was notorious. Somebody scared me, so I said, okay, let me split for the first time. Okay. So I combined it with case study and I passed. That was how I completed my ICAN exam. Beautiful. Reading on my own, using the study methods I acquired previously.
Wow. What I picked from your story is that there is nothing like it's too late to start.
No.
For you to start your ICAN journey at 40.
Yes.
With family.
Yes.
With business.
Yes.
no lecture center.
No
mentor. No guidance.
No.
Right. One of the things that inspired me to actually start collating inspiring stories on your ICAN Starter Pack was when I started writing my exam. I went on YouTube. I was checking for stories, to actually read or listen to people that have gone through this journey, and I didn't find any. Right. So if I had seen something like this, when people were telling me that okay, this particular exam is this and that and that, at least I would have listened to.
It's always good to have someone to guide you. It made it even more difficult for me because there was no one. But I did it hard. That's it. It was hard. And so that's why I have a mission now to make it easier for anyone who want to write the exams, so actually to target young ones. And the same way I've been mentoring them in high school, to mentor young secondary school leavers through this process. It will make it easier because it wasn't that easy. It was very, very rough. Wow. Sometimes I would want to sleep. The pillow would feel like a rock because of the so much formulas. This thing is, ICAN exam is actually very tough.
Yes.
And I lived only on study packs. I did not know of any other textbook.
Wow.
I lived only on ICAN study packs from ATS1 to final.
Wow, your story is really motivating, inspiring, one of a kind. I'm not sure I've heard anybody talk about starting ICAN exam at 40, right? Without any mentorship, without any tutorial center, and then you have business, you have family, and you're able to complete this, right? Me, I didn't even have family and all those responsibilities, and I rewrote some papers.
It's all right.
And you were able to complete it within the shortest possible time.
Yes, thank you.
Wow, so that's really inspiring.
Thank you very much.
One thing I picked from your story, when you mentioned that you won prize in ATS 3.
Yes.
How was it for you? How did you
feel? It was shocking because a friend once told me about prize, ICAN prize, and I said, how about that one? This is me wanting to test my study skills. And all I just wanted is pass. Just pass and move on. I just got a mail from ICAN. I opened it. I saw dear prize winner.
Wow.
Then after saying everything, there's an attachment to that mail. That's the schedule where the list of the prizes and everything is. I then downloaded it. And I won a prize in a subject, in the course, Principles of Auditing. That was the one I won prize. And that was, actually, I need to emphasize, that was one of the most difficult courses for me at that level. Because I am good with figures. I would test myself on every other course because I did cost accounting, taxation, management. Audit and management was the one giving me challenges that time. So, but then there was a method I learned about reading, which I gave to it. I was able to bring it down.
Let's have it.
That's the truth. You see, there was this method of reading called SQ3R. That was actually what I now used on it. Then I now went to using the systematic note-taking called chunking. So I now had the entire pack summarized into an exercise book.
Wow.
Yes. So what now happened, I think God just wanted me to win that prize. No, prior to entering the exam hall, I just picked my little exercise book and I just flipped through it. And something that I just finished revising, that I've summarized the whole chapter, came out.
My God.
Like that. My pen was just dancing like this and like this. I knew I would pass, but I had no idea about prize winning. Nationwide something. Age was not my size. That time I was 41 plus.
Wow.
Writing that paper, and I know a lot of teenagers write ATS.
Yeah.
So how can I be competing with those ones and I be thinking about prize winning? And this is me, no background knowledge in accounting, no tutorial. I was already in business for 22 years after I left school. I didn't do anything academics. So I couldn't be imagining winning a prize.
My God.
But so when I saw it, I said, I know I called my wife, I called my friends. I said, I saw this in ICAN. I don't know about this. So it was actually inspiring. And that's just to attest to the fact that when you, first of all, one has to believe in himself. And second of all, whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. The amount of time I invested in ICAN, I can't even quantify it myself. Like I said, 8 hours. That's the days I work. The days I don't work, I just sit on book from morning till night. There was a place I went to read one day at church. It was on a Saturday. The pastor was going and coming. He saw me. He approached me and said, are you a journalist? Are you writing a report? Are you an author? I said, no. He said, what about it? I said, I'm preparing to write the ICAN exam. So that was it. I learned that from Ben Carson's story. And Ben Carson's story has actually inspired me. And I also want to encourage everyone to give it the approach. Ben Carson was a learner, a dullard who became a genius and now became a world-renowned neurosurgeon. His story is my motivation. He's my mentor. If I talk about mentor, those who inspire me, Ben Carson inspires me. And that is the approach I gave ICAN. In 2.5 years, I completed all ICAN papers.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So has the winning prize impacted on your journey in any way?
Yes, it gave me an assurance that there is nothing impossible for me to achieve. And that's also a lesson I want people to take from my story. Going by the background, the challenges I had, there is nothing. I read a book, Think and Grow Rich, where the man Napoleon Hill said he went and removed impossibility from his own dictionary. The word impossible, he said he peeled it out of the dictionary. And nothing is impossible. So that story, there are several books that, the Sussex story, I thought about Ben Carson. There are several other books I read that inspired me. So nothing is impossible and all things are possible. If you are willing to pay the price, you get the rewards for every input.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm really inspired.
Thank you very much.
Really
Thank you very much.
Do you still sell phone accessories?
I know, I already switched. So what I do now, I practice in a firm.
Okay.
And in addition to that, I mentor young ones to write ICAN exams. Wow. I also trade with these skills for students in secondary schools. I have an online course that I actually inspire students, where I inspire students to learn how to learn. So I think it's learning to learn. I teach study skills then.
Wow, amazing. I found you on LinkedIn, so how can someone else find you?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, Olatilewa Oni. I'm on Facebook, Olatilewa Oni. And I'm active on Facebook and on LinkedIn, but I also have an Instagram account with the same name. My name is just Olatilewa Oni. Once you put it on Google, to show you everywhere I belong. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I must appreciate you for giving the privilege, because I have always loved to impart. And so this your platform now gives me an opportunity to tell my story. And also I know that someone, somewhere, watching this right now will be blessed by it. And greater and better story than this will be able to emerge after that.
Amen. More inspiring stories.
Yes, more inspiring stories. Thank you very much.
So you have heard it from Mr. Oni. This story is really inspiring, and it has also inspired me, because I have a lot of things that I should have started that I have not started now, and I'm not even 40 yet. So I need to start now.
Yes,
I need to start now.
Yes.
Thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
watching this episode of your ICAN Starter Pack. Thank you, sir, for coming on the
You're
show.
welcome.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, right? And don't forget, you can also reach out to us. You can send us an email. You can send us an email at ummasstudiotv@gmail.com. You can send me an email at iamchidimar@gmail.com. You can check out our other YouTube channels. Yeah, you can check out 121 Professionals on YouTube to have access to free materials that can set you on the path in your accounting journey, right? And you can also check out my personal YouTube channel, I am Chidima, or you just search I am Chidima, or just search Chidima Osigwe on Google, like Mr. Oni said, and I'll be the first person to come out. You have access to the other YouTube channels. Thank you very much for watching. Till we come your way next time. This is your ICAN Starter Pack. Bye.